All right. Today we're jumping into one of the most talked about, yet kind of mysterious protocols on Solana, Humidifi. It's this thing people are calling a dark pool, and believe me, it is absolutely dominating the network. Let's get into it.
You've probably seen this floating around. It all starts with this one phrase. Just three simple words that have somehow become the anthem for a protocol that's processing billions and billions of dollars.
And that's really the big question here, right? Is this all just some clever, funny marketing, or is there some seriously powerful, institutional-grade tech hiding just under the surface? And what we're going to find out is, well, it's kind of both.
So, first up, let's just unpack this whole vibe. What's the deal with getting wet, anyway? What does that even mean? It's about way more than just a catchy phrase.
Look, Humidifi's entire brand is built on this mix. You see stuff like Wet Week or Real Wet Shit, and yeah, they're funny, but it's more than that. They're using this language to build a real community identity. It's made them one of the most memorable projects on Solana, creating this feeling like you're part of a secret club.
But okay, strip away all the memes. What are we actually talking about here? It's a proprietary automated market maker, or a prop AMM. And this is the absolute key thing you gotta understand. This is not your typical Uniswap-style pool where anybody can add liquidity. No, this is a closed-off private engine built for one thing and one thing only, pure performance.
Okay, so that brings us to the juicy part. Let's pull back the curtain and actually look inside this so-called dark pool to see what really makes it tick.
This comparison right here, it lays it all out perfectly. You think about a normal DEX. It's all public, super transparent, and anyone can jump in. Humidifi is the complete opposite. It uses a closed, private source for its liquidity. You can't really see what's going on inside. It's opaque by design. And you can't just decide to participate. Access is totally permissioned.
So here's the kicker. Humidifi is basically invisible. Most people trading on Solana have probably used it and had no idea. The money comes from this anonymous team. There's no website you can go to, nothing. The only way trades get there is through aggregators like Jupiter, which are always sniffing out the absolute best price for your swap.
And that's why the aggregators are obsessed with it. I mean, the execution is just that good. We're talking about people comparing it to the biggest centralized exchanges on the planet. And come on, when the CEO of a huge infrastructure company like Helios says your execution is better than Binance, you know you're the real deal. All right, so talk is cheap, right? The performance claims are huge, but what do the numbers actually say? Let's dig into the data because this is where the story gets really, really wild.
Just look at this number, around 35%. That's the market share of all decentralized exchange volume on Solana. Think about that for a second. More than a third of every single trade happening on the entire network is flying through this one kind of hidden protocol.
And get this, in a single record-breaking month, the protocol processed over 34 times billion dollars in trading volume. We're not talking about some small-time project here. This is a monster, an absolute financial behemoth.
And it's not just a monthly thing. On any given day, Humidifi can execute over $1.1 billion in trades. That just shows you what this thing is built for. Constant, high-speed, serious flow.
And if you want to see what that dominance looks like, this chart says it all. You've got Humidifi way up there at 34 billion, and then you have other huge names on Solana like Radium and Meteora way, way down there. It's not even a close race. They are playing a completely different game.
So, okay, what does all this mean for the bigger picture? The success of Humidifi isn't just about one protocol. It might just be signaling a huge, fundamental shift in the way DeFi itself is evolving.
And here's the main idea. We might be seeing a move away from those classic open-for-all permissionless liquidity pools and a move towards these highly specialized private engines. The kind that are built from the ground up to serve professional traders who demand the absolute best performance.
And the knock-on effects are massive. When you concentrate liquidity like this, you get better prices, tighter spreads, just better market efficiency all around. And that is exactly the kind of thing that brings in the big money, the professional traders. For Solana as a whole, having this kind of high-performance infrastructure just makes the entire blockchain that much more competitive.
A huge next step for Humidifi is the launch of its own token, $WET. And this is a pretty big deal. It's actually the very first token to launch on Jupiter's brand new DTF platform. They're also giving early access to people who stake JUP, which feels like a nod towards a fair, community-focused rollout.
But look, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Of course not. A model this powerful and this hidden definitely comes with its own set of risks and trade-offs that are super important to understand.
So you've really got three main things to worry about here. First up, centralization risk. I mean, this thing is run by an anonymous team, so who do you hold accountable if something goes wrong? Second, dependency. It's so heavily reliant on Jupiter to send trades its way. That's a potential single point of failure. And finally, regulatory uncertainty. You just know a dark pool structure is going to get some side-eye from regulators eventually.
So at the end of the day, we're right back where we started. The absolute genius of Humidifi is this duality. It's got this fun, accessible, meme-heavy brand on the surface, but underneath it all is an engine that is anything but playful. It's institutional-grade finance perfectly disguised by a meme.
And this leaves all of us with one final massive question for the future. As DeFi matures, what's ultimately going to win out? Will it be the open, permissionless ethos that started this whole movement? Or is it going to be the raw, undeniable, cutthroat performance that these closed systems like Humidifi can deliver? That, right there, is the billion-dollar question the entire industry is trying to answer.